Hello and welcome to my Wild Knitting podcast. I believe this is episode 21. Welcome. We're doing this again. It's end of February. We're enjoying a cup of coffee. It's early morning. And my name is Martina for those who never been here before and just stumbled across this channel. I love to create a lot of different things with my hands. I love to forage. I love to knit. It's one of my greatest passions. And me and my partner live in the center of Italy in a region called Umbria. We are trying to learn the art of land reliancy and self-reliancy, trying to make the things that we need with our own hands. And it's a journey. It's a long journey. But today we're going to talk about some of the projects I've been working on. I have finished objects, as you might have spotted. I have some finished objects and I have new WIPSS. You will be like, what about the WIPSS you had before? I want to see them. No, I casted on new projects. And yeah, who doesn't have a pile of WIPSS lingering around in their storage? I don't know. Let's start with the finished objects because I finished two projects that I've started some time ago. Both of these projects that I'm about to show you are heavily modified, meaning I followed a pattern, but I heavily modified it. And this is the milkweed sweater. It's a beautiful design. It's a top-down collar work yoke sweater. And I believe it's knitted with a light fingering way, if I'm not mistaken, yarn. But I didn't. I used a DK, I would say, a DK way yarn that I hand dyed. So the brown, this kind of like light walnutty brown color, it's the yarn I hand dyed, and it was a 100% non-superwashed rustic. It was kind of like light gray yarn that I bought a year ago from a website called Yarn Home, and I wanted to hand dyed it, and I talked about it before. I showed how I did it, so check it out. But I really liked that yarn, but I didn't have enough yardage to complete a full garment, so I decided to use it in a colorwork sweater. And that's the result, and I'm very, very pleased with it. This is a beautiful garment for me. However, it's a little bit cropped, even too cropped for me. I love cropped garments, but sorry for my wrinkly pants, but it's quite cropped, and I blocked it quite a lot. It was even, shorter, and I thought maybe I should just unravel the bottom hem and, I don't know, get another yarn and knit it longer. I don't know. But when I blocked it, blocking does magic. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy. I think I cast it on the smallest size because I used a needle size bigger than the one recommended. And so basically I followed the stitch count of the pattern, and I followed the color work yoke chart And then when I divided for the sleeves, I just did my own thing. So that's the basically the following aspect. Like I didn't really follow much. I just followed the color work. And I added some little details that I really like. This is the color work that I've done on the sleeves, and I think it's really pretty. Then I've done some sort of like ribbing, 1x1 ribbing with 2 colors. And then I added this little detail, or like little moss stitch section on the yoke. And I just love it. The white yarn, it's a 100% alpaca yarn called Baby Alpaca by BC Garn. And then the rest, the kind of like grayish and brown, it's, I think, Isager tweed in the color winter gray. I think so. Held together with the Laceway 100% wool yarn that I got in Sweden 3 years ago. And it was like a super light, lace yarn, and I decided to hold it together to create this kind of color. So using a little bit parts of my yarn stash to kind of create this garment, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been wearing it on special occasions, on top of dresses and high-waisted pants like these ones. It's beautiful. I would say that it's not as warm as the sweater that I'm about to show you. So it's kind of like middle season. I mean, I can definitely wear it, in the winter as well, but I would need a layer underneath like this one to kind of keep me a bit warmer because it's cropped. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I started it end of September, beginning of October, and it's been a journey because I had to unravel the body because I knitted it with other colors. I had like little color work situation going on the body, and it was for me it was very beautiful if I just had to hang it on the wall, but it wasn't wearable. Like in my wardrobe, I wouldn't wear it, with that color work situation. So I just decided to unravel it, and I'm very happy. I mean, it's very beautiful. For me, it's very beautiful. Let's talk about the next finished object. Both of these sweaters. I mean, I'm so happy to have these 2 sweaters in my wardrobe now. So I apologize if this looks a bit worn down. I've been wearing it a lot and it has some peeling going on and maybe some dog hair. But that's real life. We're not here to be perfect. So this is a very simple kind of sweatshirt-like sweater. In fact, I've knitted this as part of a Knitalong hosted by Casey from the Young Folk Knit podcast. And this is the Knitalong name, I believe, is Bougie Sweater Knitalong, or Bougie Sweatshirt Knitalong. And I've knitted this because I really needed a warm, very warm, comfortable, cozy, little bit oversized sweater. And this is it. I mean, with the light, it looks even more worn down. I'm sorry, but let me tell you a little bit about the pattern. I just started following, and I've followed the raglan increases of the pattern Tulip Sweater by Melody Hoffman. I've knitted that pattern before and it's so gorgeous. The main, accent or detail in that pattern is the scalloped hem line, but I decided to skip those I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. It wasn't that I didn't want them, but I just, I was like, I just want to finish this sweater and wear it. And it's kind of, this is not cropped. This is like my body length. Let me show you if I can. Yeah, it's kind of like my body length, my torso length. So it's not cropped. And what I really liked about the tulip sweater is that it's cropped and it has this, scalloped edges, and that that detail look very beautiful on a cropped sweater. But not so much. That's what I personally believe. Not so much on a long sweater. So I decided to just skip it, and I love it. I mean, it's so warm and cozy because I've used an unspun yarn that was gifted to me by Caroline. We did a little yarn swap, even though she gifted me a lot more than I did. Thank you, Caroline. I love this colorway, and this is the yarn Nutiden by a Swedish brand called Hönner och Kär, and they create beautiful, beautiful colors. So this is an unspun yarn, so it's a little bit difficult, not difficult, but it requires a little bit of attention to knit with an unspun yarn because it breaks a lot. And for this project, I held the yarn double, the unspun yarn double. The only thing about this yarn that bothers me just a little bit is the peeling. So I finished this sweater I think 2 weeks ago, and I wore it here and there. I mean, quite a lot, but like not every day, and it's peeling quite a lot, and that's the problem I think with this yarn. It's like so soft, but it peels. So what people have been doing is to hold the yarn together with a silk mohair, which keeps the peeling at bay. That's something that I wish I did, but it's okay, it's done. And I'm gonna take care of the peeling. Some people told me to get one of those peeling remover machines. To be honest, I love more mechanical technologies than electrical technologies, because if it's electrical, it will break at some point. That's how I think. And so I prefer to get things that are kind of more mechanical, manual. So I've been using my reusable razor, very careful, kind of, shaving my sweater. That works very well. It just requires patience and more time, and it's more slow. But I've been doing that, not on this sweater, but on my other sweaters that are peeling. So that's the only thing with the Nutiden yarn that personally I've noticed, is that it peels quite a lot if you just hold it together without a silk mohair or without any other yarn. But I'm very, very, very pleased with how this turned out, and it's my bougie sweatshirt. I've been wearing it so much. I love it. I really love it. And I kind of have a hat that I've knitted with the same yarn that does a matchy situation. So very happy. Very happy with these two finish objects. Those are my finish objects for this podcast episode. I wanted to show you I'm also wearing some knitted socks, just to show you my full outfit. But yeah, so let's enter the WIP realm, the work in progress projects section. Where should I start? Let's start from this one. Okay, so if you've been here before, you've probably seen this vest. This is the Stockholm Sleepover by Petite Knit, and it's for my dad. I'm knitting it with a commercial yarn called Alaska, Drops Alaska, that I had bought for this pattern last year. I wish, or I want to gather energies to finish this project, because it's not exciting for me to finish. It has a little journey. My dad tried it before, it didn't fit, so I had to kind of adjust it, modify it. Yeah, but I've been making a little bit of progress. I think I've knitted like 5 centimeters, something like that, on the body. Now I'm picking up stitches on the neckline. I've been making some progress on this, and I want to finish it before, when is it coming? Wednesday next week. So I want to finish it these days. I want to block it a lot to kind of see how it looks and hope for the best. If my dad still thinks it's not of his liking, I can give it to Mike. So, but yeah, I would like to finish this. The only thing that is missing are the ribbed parts, so neckline, arms, armholes, and bottom hem. So yeah, I'm very, very curious to block this and to see how will look once it's blocked. So that's a little progress that I've done on this. I just, digged it out from my WIP pile, and I really want to finish it. I think if my dad will like it, it will be a success. So let's cross fingers. But that's my first work in progress for today. Okay, I just ate a little bit and I'm charging the camera. Yes. Okay, next project. I've shown the starting of this project in my recent vlog. And this is a project that I'm knitting for a Knitalong that I'm hosting. I've shown the back. This is the front. This is the body of the sweater. So the Knitalong name, if you want to follow the hashtag or participate, is Jessie Got Me Dressed Knitalong, or Carl. And it's a Knitalong that me and Malene are hosting. If you don't know Malene, I highly recommend her channel. She's quite new on YouTube, so please go and give her some love. Her channel name is Nomad Knitter Podcast. Nomad Knitter, that's it. And she has a podcast, but she shows also some parts of her life, like knitting vlogs. Love her channel. So it's very calming, very nice vibes. And we both really like the designer Jessie made. Her patterns are so clear, so well written, and so size inclusive. So we decided to honor this designer by hosting a little Knitalong where you basically can pick any design by Jessie made and just knit something. And she has many different garments and accessories, so I think there's something for everyone. And me and Malene wanted to knit her most recent pattern, which is the big rib sweater. This is the big rib sweater, and it's a 4x4 top down drop shoulder construction sweater. And So let me talk a little bit about this project. I was really excited to cast this on, especially because it is a very simple looking sweater, very simple ribbed sweater, and you can use different type of yarns held together or held single depending on the way, as long as you know reach the recommended gauge. And I think the recommended gauge is 12 stitches and is knitted with needle size 6 millimeters. So it's quite, I think, a quick project because you know the needle size and the yarn weight, and it doesn't require so much yardage compared to maybe a fingering weight sweater. And so I wanted something, you know, simple and easy, and her patterns are so well written, so easy to understand, that I decided to cast this on together with Malene. So this is my sweater as part of the knit-along. Yesterday I finished the body. I tried it on and it's very nice and flowy, but I wanted it to be a bit bigger, like a bit more oversized looking. This is kind of like form fitted. I mean, there is still a little bit of positive ease, but I think with blocking it will get better, but still is quite form fitted, which by the way I don't mind, but I don't know, it's not exactly as I wanted it, and that's because I really didn't follow the gauge situation. I gauge swatched, but my gauge wasn't exactly the same, let's say, and I don't know, that's your sign to do a little gauge swatch and go for the gauge the designer recommends, especially if you want the same type of looking garment. But I'm still really excited. I was thinking, oh my gosh, shall I rip it back? Shall I create a vest out of this? But today I just wore it again and I looked at it and I was like, no, I'm just gonna continue the project, and it's gonna be more like a garment that has less positive ease, but it's beautiful and it's quite stretchy. I mean, the 4x4 ribbing stretches a lot. Yes, quite stretchy. So let me talk a little bit about the yarn. So these are the yarns that I'm using. Let me explain. I'm holding these three together, or these three together. I'm holding these three for the ribbing, for the bottom hem, and let me show you. The bottom hem, I'm holding these three together, and also the, you know, sleeve cuff and the neckline. I'm, you know, using this light violet lavender silk mohair, and for the entire, like the rest of the body and the sleeves and the sweater in general, I'm using these three together. So this is just a silk mohair that I ordered from Drops. People know that I'm not really excited about Drops, but I'm a little bit on a budget and this was on sale, so I decided to get it for this project. The most exciting part are these two beautiful yarns. This is so gorgeous. This is a laceway yarn. I think it's like merino, half silk, or a little bit more merino and silk blend. And this is the Townhouse Yarns in the color silk and merino blend, laceway, in the color Toffee Pop. And the Townhouse Yarns, I've mentioned them before. This is a yarn company from Dublin, and they create beautiful hand-dyed yarns, just beautiful, beautiful colors. I just love these colors. I don't know. These days, I'm here for all of these colors. They're just so gorgeous. I could spend hours looking at this. It's so beautiful. So, if you watched my previous vlog, I decided to invest on a Swift and a yarn winder. This is the Swift standing here by my side. Beautiful. I can't believe it. I didn't get this before. It would have saved me a lot of time and energies. But I finally decided to get it, and I caked this up, and it's so gorgeous. And I'm holding these together because it's a laceway yarn. And I'm holding this together with this 75% organic lamb's wool and 25% silk. It's very, I think it's kind of lightweight yarn. Is organic, non-mulesin wools, and it's really nice. And it's 300 meters, 50 grams, in the shade 3012. So it's kind of like a cream white, and I really like it. It was very affordable, and I'm really happy I'm holding this together with also the silk mohair. But yeah, if you want to participate to the Knitalong, tag us or share a picture, a reel, anything on Instagram with the hashtag Jessie got me dressed. Very, very happy with this. Yeah, I wish it was a bit bigger, but I'm not gonna unravel it because it still fits really well, and it's not like, I don't know, sucking me in. This whip, very exciting. Let me know what you think. For those who don't know, I love to go out and hike and walk. I'm a walker, I'm a hiker. I love to hike and walk daily. If I don't walk or don't move my body in a soft, gentle way, I just get very cranky. So I love to walk, and I also love to knit walk. Combining two passions together, love it. So I've been knitting on this pair of socks. They're very crazy, the colors, and I'm not sure, but I've been knitting on this pair of socks, and they've been very fun to knit on. However, yeah, I don't know. There's something that I don't really like about these socks. But I love the length of these socks, and I think that they will look very beautiful coming out my boots. So I think I'm not gonna rip this back yet. I've been using a yarn that I got gifted, and it's a self-striping sock yarn that has these beautiful colors. So these three colors are part of the self-striping yarn, and then I added this green color, which is Knit Picks Strahl in the color grass, and it's a sock yarn that I received from an amazing patron. I have a Patreon account. For those who don't know, Patreon is a little platform where creators put up more content, and you pay a little monthly fee. I'm using Patreon as a diary, so I'm sharing little videos where I talk and, you know, share little parts of my life, and I post a lot of different pictures. It's very like a calming community full of people that really are amazing and wanted to support me. But, you know, it's an extra expense for people, so not everyone wants to join. but I'm very grateful for the community we have there. And I was feeling a little bit stressed because, you know, you have to post more content, but they are so kind that we talked a bit, and, you know, I'm posting a little bit less, but still I'm posting and showing up, and I just love my patrons so much. They've gonna get emotional. They've been very much supportive, and it makes such a difference. Their support is so important for me. And yeah, I received some yarns from one of them. Thank you so much. And this is the Knit Picks Stroll, and it's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight sock yarn, and I decided to add a little section of this green on the sock. But what I don't like is the heel. I don't know, it's just throwing me off a little bit, so I don't know. I'm just gonna pause this. Maybe I'm gonna knit on it. And at some point, I'm just gonna freeze it in time. And that's it. But that's another little whip. Okay, let me show you this project, because this is, I think, another very, I don't know, enjoyable knit for me. I don't know how to show you this. And let me try it on so I can show you. It's a drop shoulder brioche cardigan that I love so much. I really love this garment so much, and I can't wait to have it. And yeah, I've been knitting on it quite a lot. It's knitted with needle size. The recommended needle size is 3 millimeters. I'm using 3.5, I believe. So it takes a while. Plus is brioche, so it takes a while. But I'm enjoying every stitch, every minute. And I love that it has this drop shoulders situation. The increases are so beautiful. And so I've knitted this as part of another knit-along that I'm hosting. I'm hosting so many knit-alongs, I'm losing the count. But this is the Movie Knits knit-along. It's a knit-along where we knit anything from a movie, a show, a series, anything that a character was wearing or has, whatever. I decided to knit this to recreate the cardigan that a character from the movie Knives Out was wearing. And her cardigan is lilac, kind of like a violet-y lilac color, but I got this beautiful yarn. So I'm using a silk mohair and this yarn. This is a hand-dyed yarn by the lovely Nina from the A Crafter's Tale podcast. She has a beautiful podcast, and she occasionally dyes beautiful yarns with the plants that she has in her garden. So she's a beautiful dyer, and I want to support her more. But she was doing a little de-stash. She was selling some of her yarn stash, and I got 4 of these skeins. 100 grams, 300 meters each hank. And I bought 4, so it's 1,200 meters. I believe it's enough. I mean, it's enough according to what the pattern says. So yeah, let's cross finger, but I think it's gonna be enough. And I need to knit probably 10-15 more centimeters of the body. I'm kind of not following I'm following the pattern to the detail, but when it arrived to knitting the buttonholes, I decided to do my own thing because it looked too complicated and I couldn't be bothered. So, I mean, it's still working. This is a hole. Let me show you. Yay. It's a little hole because I want to put little buttons, and we'll see if I'll make those buttons or we'll see. But I'm very pleased, and I'm knitting the smallest size because I'm using, my gauge is a bit bigger, larger, so I'm knitting the smallest size, so it will become like a medium, is becoming like a medium size. So it's not an XS, it's a medium, even though I'm following the smallest size. I don't know if that makes sense. It's going to be quite warm because it has the silk mohair and this beautiful woolly yarn, but I think it will be beautiful as a jacket, like a spring jackety. But I'm very, very pleased how this is looking. It's so pretty. And that line, lighter stripe that you see, never mind. I explained what happened there in my previous video. I'm not gonna talk about it again. But very happy with this project. Very, I don't know, it's so nice. And I learned 2 new techniques. I learned to knit brioche, the brioche stitch. Never done it before. And I'm hooked. I was so scared and like so unsure I would like it, and I didn't want to put the effort to learn to knit brioche, but now it's super easy. It's so easy. Like, I don't know what I was thinking about. It's so easy. And then I've learned the double knitting situation. I never did double knitting. So the bottom hem and the neckline is knitted in this double knit, and I love it. It gives such a sturdy and elegant feeling to it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very excited with most of the projects. I have another little whip that I can show you. I forgot. I have other whips that I've been kind of like touching here and there, but these ones that I've shown you this during this podcast episode are the ones that I'm focusing my attention and my energies on the most. So this is a summer top. I couldn't resist casting it on. Some days ago, there was full sun. I was out like sunbathing like this. I couldn't believe it. To celebrate these sunny days, I decided to cast on a top. This is a top that I'm just designing myself. Didn't follow any pattern at all. Silk mohair everywhere. And it's in this light in antique rose pink color that I had in my stash. I really love the stitch definition that this yarn gives me. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. I mean, but I have to say that many plant-based yarns give you that clear, beautiful stitch definition. However, I don't really love this yarn. I mean, I love the color, I love the stitch definition. It's really flowy to knit with this. But I've knitted a top before with it and it kind of peels. And I don't really love when yarns peel, but I'm still gonna knit on it, and it just flows. It just flows so well. I don't know. Ita. Love it. So it's gonna be a crop top. I'm gonna knit it sleeveless. It's gonna be kind of like a camisole in stockinette, so very simple, but I'm wearing this type of, and tops and t-shirts are my favorite thing to knit on. They're so beautiful, so quick. I'm using them so much during the summer and also during the winter, layered. So I really love this. And it's just a little top, and I really love this color. I'm really into this kind of like pinks and light violets. Just, I don't know, it's the spring probably. But it looks quite small, but this type of fabric stretches so much. But I'm very happy. This yarn, sorry, I didn't tell you what this yarn is. This is 100% cotton, mercerized cotton, Muscat by Drops. I bought it last year when I've knitted the other top. I've knitted it in a white color, and I really liked this color. This is the color 09, and it's a mercerized cotton, 100% cotton, and it has this kind of like silky feeling to it, and like this, it's very shiny, I would say, very shiny, very beautiful. So that's my little welcoming the warmth and the sun type of project, and we are done. That's it for today. I am so excited with all of these projects. I love all of them. My dad's vest is not really exciting to knit on, but I want to finish it, and I am really excited to start to do a little experiment. No, it's not really an experiment, but I want to learn about silk. I want to knit with only silk, a silk yarn, 100% silk. I want to find a cruelty-free, I already found them actually, cruelty-free silk. And for those who don't know, silk is not a plant-based yarns. People have been telling me like, oh, I've knitted this pattern with a plant-based yarn and it was 100% silk. It's not a plant-based yarn. It comes from the chrysalids or the cocoons of the butterflies, different type of butterflies. So it's not plant-based, and sometimes it's the chrysalids are boiled so the insects don't develop and come out, and so it's a little bit cruel, I would say. I mean, not as cruel as other practices, other yarns or fibers, animal-based fibers, but there are amazing companies that use the chrysalids that are empty, so the butterflies or the insects have already left their cocoons, and so those chrysalids are being used to create those beautiful silky yarns. And I found two companies that create cruelty-free silky yarns. One is Knitting for Olive and one is Campolmi Filati, which is a local company. So what I want to do is to purchase some of their silk yarns and knit two projects from those two different brands and test them a little bit and see how it feels. And I would like to create a video, but let me know if something that interests you to see the process of me knitting these garments out of these beautiful yarns and test them, wear them. I don't know, it's something very exciting. It's a very creative and spring-like project, I would say. That's my next big project. It will take me a while, but yeah, we're not in a rush. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please consider subscribing. It really helps. So yeah, I'm gonna make some little breakfast and go about my day. Thank you so much for being here, and see you next time. Bye.